Good afternoon. My name is Doug Cotton, and I had the privilege of being Daniel and Sierra's pastor for 6 years while they lived in Grace Harbor. There's a verse in Nehemiah 3, verse 16, that mentions a place called the House of Heroes. It's the only place mentioned in Scripture. Some commentaries say it could have been a hall of fame for a museum for the brave warriors who fought battles for God and won. Could have had Goliath's sword in there and a plaque dedicated to King David. Could have had some other plaques, pieces of armor, many other swords and bows and arrows, and dedicated to warriors and battle maidens in the history of Israel. The point I'm trying to make is this. Even Israel, who was famous for the God they served, had heroes whom God used. I believe Daniel was one of God's modern-day heroes. A hero is defined as one who has the qualities of being strong, courageous, loyal, and brave. And you become a hero when you do something with every ounce of your heart, every ounce of your soul, and your body, and those efforts make a positive difference for someone else. Let me say that again. You become a hero when you do something with every ounce of your heart, every ounce of your soul and body, and those efforts make a difference for someone else. To be a law officer, husband, and father, you need to be a great warrior. And those who succeed at it are heroes. Dan was one of those people. I was thinking, what would Daniel tell us about heroes and how we might become one like him? And this is what I think he would say. Number one, he would tell us, today, heroes are often developed in obscurity, places like out at sea, in the Navy, where you're being trained and no one but a few men on your ship know your name, or places like Aberdeen, Hoquiam, Montesano, and Yelm, where most people would never know your name or even know what you're doing or the good works you're doing. But God is preparing you for greatness. The second thing I believe he would tell us is heroes are made by not quitting when things get hard. The more difficult something was, the more Dan liked it. He loved challenges. He was an overcomer when it came to obstacles. He was anything but a quitter. Thirdly, I believe Dan would tell us never underestimate the power of one totally dedicated life. Dan gave everything to his job, his marriage, and his God. He was 100% in everything he did. Fourth, I believe Dan would tell us you can get a lot more done if you don't care who gets the credit. Dan was not in it for the glory. He just wanted to make people better. Lastly, I believe Daniel learned from his hero, Jesus, to live for a greater purpose than himself. See, the number one purpose for Jesus is people. And Dan's number one purpose, because he wanted to be like his hero, was to love people, even if it meant dying for them. Dan's hero, Jesus, paid the ultimate sacrifice. He suffered on a cross for all of us so that we might live. Heroes never forget their purpose. They put their lives at risk and are willing to lay them down so that you and I can live. I believe, as we have come here today, to honor a hero, the greatest act that we can do on his behalf is become the hero that God created you and I to be. It is natural for all of us to underestimate our value and our potential. Dan would tell us, God made you for greatness. He would tell all of us to make our lives count for a purpose beyond ourselves. Today, you and I are surrounded with men and women who are making a difference, and they're doing it with all of their heart, with all of their soul, with all of their might. They're doing it with great sacrifice and great expense, but they're making a positive contribution to the lives of those around them. If you want to honor Dan and the life that he lived, then become the hero that God called you to be. I think that's what Dan would have wanted for his life to speak. And if there was a Hall of the Heroes in Washington State, I think Dan's name would be there, along with his shield. And let me just say this. To the McCartney and Gardner families, I'm so sorry for your loss, but I believe Dan's legacy will live on for generations to come. And I love you all very much. Thank you.